G'day everyone, Leigh here from Martinuzzi Property Group with EXP Australia. I do hope you're having a fantastic week. This is my weekly real estate market update, and my job here is simple: to keep you informed so you can make the best decisions on your next property journey. This week I'm reviewing a report that was released by CoreLogic, and they're looking at the markets across Australia and the performance of property price growth in general. Now, what we saw in March is that the average property price growth grew by 0.4%, taking property prices in Australia to new peak levels. Now, most capital cities performed positively, with the exceptions of Hobart, and Darwin actually led the way with a 1% property price growth in the month of March. Now, every capital city and every market is different. They perform differently based on supply and demand, but the similar theme that seems to be across the board from agents I'm speaking with in different markets across Australia is that there is this severe shortage of property availability, so properties to purchase. And that's really what's keeping this demand and property prices moving in the positive direction. And I think that's going to continue for some time. Now, the last RBA meeting, they decided to keep the cash rate on hold at 4.1%, which I think is actually a good thing, because I think if they dropped it again, that would stimulate property prices further. And right now we're seeing an affordability issue. Previous to that, they did drop that cash rate. And I think that's the reason why we saw the prices go up confidently in March. Buyer sentiment has improved, and there's certainly more buyers in the marketplace. What we're seeing on the Sunshine Coast is increased buyer numbers to our open homes, and that's a positive sign for the market moving forward. But again, it's a supply and demand balance issue that we're seeing here. And so properties that are coming to the market now are getting a lot of interest, and usually a lot of offers within a couple of weeks of being on the market. So that's what we're seeing here on the Sunshine Coast. Now, what we are seeing is an affordability crisis, and a couple of things they observed in this report was how that looks for most families. So if you're purchasing a home now, the average buyer buying a home, 50% of their income is going to mortgage repayments. So that's 20% deposit on a property, 50% of their income is going to repayments. So that's quite challenging, particularly with the cost of living going up as well. And then on the rental front, it's no different. So rental prices have slowed down and stabilized. I think it's about 3.4% year on year, and that's down from its peak a couple of years ago at about 9.7%. So we are seeing those rental prices stabilize, but there's still positive growth there as well. And again, it's because there's a lack of properties for rent, and the prices keep going up, so it's pushing a lot of people out. So what I think this trend will see in the marketplaces is we'll see more migration happening. So a lot of people on the Sunshine Coast will move further afield, either by choice or maybe they'll be pushed out a little bit due to affordability constraints. And we'll also see migration from southern states, Sydney, Melbourne, coming up to the Sunshine Coast because there's greater affordability here and lifestyle. And so we'll see that migration taking place over the next couple of years. It'll be interesting to see what the RBA does for the rest of the year moving forward. A lot of the big banks and economists are predicting a few more rate cuts, potentially 0.5 to 1% even. In a rate drop throughout the year. Now, if that happens, obviously a lot of release for mortgage holders that might be struggling to keep up with repayments at the moment. So that's positive news there. But I think because the supply issue is outbalanced, we'll see prices remain stable and probably continue to grow. I predicted about a 7% growth here for the Sunshine Coast for the year, but we'll wait and see what happens throughout the year. Again, if you're looking to make a move, selling, buying, or anything we can help you with property related, we'd love to have a chat with you. We catch up, have a coffee, and discuss your requirements and needs and see if we can assist you with your next property journey. Have a great day ahead, and we'll talk soon.